If you deny the word, you deny Christ. If you refuse truth, the truth will depart from you. The word foundation occurs 86 times within the King James Bible. As Christ is the creator of all things, by following his detailed design of our realm, piece by piece, layer by layer, it will produce the truth of what's beneath our feet and above our heads. To begin, we will start in the book of Job. Context to the scriptures will be given, but not to the extent of previous videos. The focus this time is on the words used throughout the Bible that, due to their repeated uses, are not symbolic but literal descriptions. Job chapter 38 reads, "Then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, Who is this that darkeneth counsel by words without knowledge? Gird up now thy loins like a man, for I will demand of thee, and answer thou me. Where wast thou when I laid the foundations of the earth? Declare, if thou hast understanding. Who hath laid the measures thereof, if thou knowest? Or who hath stretched the line upon it? Whereupon are the foundations thereof fastened? Or who laid the cornerstone thereof? When the morning stars sang together, and all the sons of God shouted for joy." The Lord has appeared before Job after Job has questioned God on his reasoning. The chapter emphasizes that Job, in his limited perspective, cannot possibly fathom the reasons for the Lord's actions, decisions, or creations. Within verses 6 to 7, we are told how the foundations of the world are fastened, they are fixed, immovable, and that the foundation has a beginning and end point, creating corners. The highlighted verses also give insight into the true identity of stars, and that angels, the sons of God, witnessed the creation of the earth, as heaven and its inhabitants were finished before the construction of the earth began. Jumping to Revelation, following on from the detail of the corners of creation, a verse which is also included upon Orlando's map is within chapter 7. It reads, "And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree." This comes after the opening of the 5th seal, to which the heaven has departed like a scroll, a point relating to the firmament. However, for now, let's return to inspecting the use of foundation within the scriptures. Returning to Job, but this time reading from chapter 22. These verses, with the additional mention of God's walked path in heaven, bolster Orlando's illustration. Although the earth does have cornerstones, it is within the center of the foundation where the circular covering is placed, to which all live beneath, and the Lord walks above. Chapter 22 reads, "Is not God in the height of heaven, and behold the height of the stars, how high they are? And thou sayest, How doth God know? Can he judge through the dark cloud? Thick clouds are a covering to him, that he seeth not, and he walketh in the circuit of heaven. Hast thou marked the old way which wicked men have trodden, which were cut down out of time, whose foundation was overflowing with a flood?" This chapter is speaking against those who deny the Lord. The use of foundation used in this example is not discussing the world, but rather the wicked, whose foundations, rooted in sin, were washed away in the flood. I highlight this use to showcase the clear difference in the use of foundation, how it is applicable to creation, but also to a nation, people, or individual, depending on the context. Moving to Psalms, that uses foundation as a literal act, Psalm 102 reads, "I said, O my God, take me not away in the midst of my days, thy years are throughout all generations. Of old hast thou laid the foundation of the earth, and the heavens are the work of thy hands." The verses reveal known truths, such as the Lord being everlasting, a being who has no beginning or end. He is simply the I Am. From man's perspective, since times of old, the foundations have been laid, and looking up reveals the works of the Lord's hands. However, it is not a singular heaven, but multiple heavens that are used, as the scriptures reveal the many layers of what's above and what dwells within them. For example, Genesis chapter 1 reads, "And God said, Let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven." The heaven described here is not the same heaven to where the Lord walks in a circuit above and upon the firmament. This is instead the high sky to which fowls may fly in the open heaven below the firmament. Moving to Isaiah, chapter 48 reveals not only the straight face of the earth's foundation from which everything was built, but also the spanning of the heavens, which further indicates the dimensions of our realm. Chapter 48 reads, "Hearken unto me, O Jacob and Israel, my called. I am he, I am the first, I also am the last. Mine hand also hath laid the foundation of the earth, and my right hand hath spanned the heavens. When I call unto them, they stand up together." Spanning is a term used when measuring with the hand. When measuring with one's hand, it is typical to lay your fingers or palm completely flat in order to obtain the required measurements. You would not curl your hand into a ball if you wished to measure with your fingers. To now move from the foundation to the firmament, I begin by inspecting its described likeness to material. Again, we refer to Job. Chapter 37 reads, "Hast thou with him spread out the sky, which is strong and as a molten-looking glass?" Here, the sky is described as being strong, as a molten-looking glass. Glass, of course, you can see through, and when someone comments on the appearance of the sky, they highlight the color of it. If it were the things below, they'd refer to the clouds in their amazement. Similar to the word spanning, the spreading out of the sky indicates a leveled surface. If you were to spread out dough, it'd be on a flat surface, and likewise when you spread the table, placing furnishings and provisions, you are not expecting your guest to eat off a ball. As we peer through the looking glass, if the sky appears blue and then black at night, why is that? Well, for that answer, I refer back to the beginning. Genesis chapter 1 reads, "In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, Let there be light, and there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. And God said, Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day." Additional verses were included to acquire the complete context, but also to allow me to address some needed points. On the first day, light was created, differentiating itself from the dark. So, from the very beginning, there was morning and evening, day and night. The 6 days of creation is not billions of years. Returning to the firmament. At this point in creation, there was only water, and so the Lord separated these layers with an arch. Arches, and likewise domes, can support a much greater load than a horizontal beam. Due to the formation, additional materials are not needed, as the constructed shape supports itself and the weight it bears above it. The firmament, with its transparent appearance, allows us to see the separated waters above. In the presence of light, similar to the waters of an ocean, the sky appears blue. However, in the absence of light, the waters appear black, creating night. The stars do not twinkle by themselves, just as the sun's rays create shimmers on the water as we gaze at the stars through the firmament. Likewise, their shimmer is due to the water. Retouching upon the detail of glass, due to the firmament's molten-like appearance and the waters in which it holds, this likely is the reasoning for its sea-like descriptions when viewing from above. Revelation chapter 4 reads, "And before the throne there was a sea of glass like unto crystal, and in the midst of the throne and round about the throne were 4 beasts full of eyes before and behind. The Lord's throne sits upon the firmament from which his glory emanates." This verse adds an additional description of the firmament, likening it to crystal. When you shine light through either glass or crystal, the result is a phenomenon known as refraction. Refraction is the bending of light through substances such as water, glass, and other transparent materials. As the light travels through each layer,